Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Adam McCullough. This is your Man United News Gazette, or whatever you want to call it, on a Sunday morning. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm taking a break from arguing with people on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days about Wayne Rooney. Some of the disrespect I see about Wayne Rooney. Now, I know he's not done too well as a manager at Birmingham City, but the greatest Premier League player, in my opinion, ever. Yes, and the greatest English player I've ever seen. I never got to see anyone like Sir Bobby Charlton and how great he was. But Wayne Rooney, I got to see his greatness. And for me, the greatest Premier League in English. But I don't know why I'm going into that. I'm just getting caught up in the little debates that we all have online. We're here to go through some of the back pages and get stuck into some of the latest transfer news and Manchester United news as well. We're going to look at some of the quotes from Andy Mitten's article in The Athletic on Erik ten Hag and the situation that he's under at the moment. But we'll kick this off by saying to you guys, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. God damn it. Yeah. Everyone that watches this and is already subscribed, absolutely adore you guys. Thank you very much for subscribing. But we do see in the stats that a lot of the people that watch Stretford Paddock aren't subscribed. So do us a favour, hit that subscribe button. It's so easy for you to do, and it's massive, massive help for us. Right then, on the back of the Star Sport. We're starting classy with the Star. It says London calling. Werner is new poster boy for Ange. And Spurs beat United to the punch for Timo's Premier League return. Now, I wouldn't have minded seeing Timo Werner come to Manchester United on loan, to be totally honest with you. But at the same time, nah, not for me. Just a quick, fast Wout Weghorst. And let him go to Spurs. I think he'll do all right at Spurs because I do think he's a decent player. But he's not that. We need goals. We need goals, and one thing that Timo Werner hasn't been in the Premier League is goals. So for me, no, let's give that a little bit of a move. Let's give that a swerve, which we have done. He's going to end up at Spurs. I do think it's a decent signing for them, though, and what they're doing with Ange Postecoglou. But we shouldn't be getting him just because he might be a good signing for someone else. If we're not wholeheartedly sure on someone, which has probably let us down the path a few times in recent seasons, we shouldn't be getting them. It's that simple. Also at this moment in time, players that could be heading out of Manchester United are Hannibal Mabry and Facundo Pellistri. We're hearing rumours about him as well, potentially going to Villarreal. But Fabrizio Romano has posted on Hannibal Mabry in the last 24 hours. And he says Everton are trying to hijack Sevilla's loan move for Hannibal Mabry as contacts are taking place today. Hannibal picks Sevilla over Freiburg and Lyon. Still in talks with Manchester United and nothing is done. But Everton are now also showing interest. And I've got to say, Hannibal's someone who I think could have maybe should have a future at Manchester United. I wouldn't mind seeing him stay at Manchester United. I think he should be starting ahead of the likes of Scott McTominay in the midfield. I think he's done pretty decent when he has been given a few minutes here and there. I would like to see more of him for Manchester United. Looks like someone that looks after possession, can keep possession ticking over, works hard, shows for the ball, gets stuck into tackles. I think he's a decent player, but a loan move could also be the one for him, and a loan move in the Premier League could be very, very good for him, I think. So Everton could be the one. Sean Dyche is doing something well there. He would kind of fit in with their midfield. You've got the likes of Ghana and Nana's being linked with a move away, so maybe if he did leave, he'd get more minutes. But I think that could be a good move for him to Everton. So would Sevilla, to be fair, but I wouldn't mind seeing him stick in the Premier League and seeing that robust kind of nature of his tested in the Premier League on a more regular basis. But that would have to be key to getting him to sign, I'm sure. As for Jadon Sancho, who could also be heading out on loan, there's still no agreement between clubs. This comes from Florian Plettenberg, who says there's no agreement between the clubs. This is today, by the way, this came out, because there are ongoing issues with the details of the loan. Sancho is also not expected in Marbella. That's where Dortmund are training at the moment. And there's no green light from Manchester United. We also heard that Manchester United had kind of vetoed the idea of putting in any kind of clause for them to buy Jadon Sancho. So looking like Manchester United just kind of want to gauge where we're at with him and see what happens. There's also the depressing side of things, which, look, I've always supported Jadon Sancho, wanted him to do well at Manchester United. In this dispute with the manager, I've supported Erik ten Hag on it. But there's also this depressing thing that if the manager's not here at the end of this season, Jadon Sancho probably gets a new chance under a new manager, which I'd be inclined, even if he could be great for us, to go, no, we need to kind of, you know, if players are going to just throw their toys out of the pram for every manager, even if we change manager, we should still stick firm with them. But who knows, maybe he can go out there, do well, get his resale value up or whatever. Now, a few quotes from Andy Mitten's article. If you want to read the full article, it's in The Athletic. I implore you to do that. It's fantastic. I read it this morning. But a few quotes in regards to Erik ten Hag's position at the moment. And one of them is, my understanding, obviously Mittens, from multiple sources who were asked not to be named to protect their relationships, is that many players have lost belief and confidence. They have issues with the way the club has been run, and several didn't think the strategic review going on in the background helped. Comments like he's lost the dressing room are not accurate. All 25 players do not think the same. Some are firmly behind the manager, others are not. The manager is entitled to have doubts about some players himself. Some have proved incapable of following his specific instructions on the field. Players have gripes, some of them legitimate, but all these negative views pile up and dissipate in the glow of victories. The strategic review that has led to this point has caused significant uncertainty among United staff, and that has now become unease over what Ineos will do and what powers they will have. This has proved a distraction for some staff and more subliminally for players, undermining the authority of both Ten Hag and football director John Myrtle. United staff needs to feel they are moving towards better times. The club is a major employee in Manchester and many of the staff are fans, yet they should also be put under pressure to perform. Too many players, this is going on to the players, don't cut it, and United's recruitment system simply has not been working. Ten Hag's signings looked promising a year ago, though the view would be a lot less flattering now. Eric totally misjudged the qualities needed to play in the Premier League. One leading agent, speaking on condition of anonymity to protect relationships, told The Athletic, I rate him as a coach, but if he had an experienced sports director alongside him like he had with Mark Overmars at Ajax, then he wouldn't need to worry so much about the recruitment side of things. You have Pep and Ziki at City. At United, you have Eric, and that's the end of the question. Which is bang on, really, in terms of, look, we've seen some chat about Ten Hag not wanting to give that power up. Hopefully he does, because I want to see Ten Hag be successful at Man United. I want to see him stay at Manchester United and succeed. We've seen what the ownership and structure change can do to clubs at other clubs. Can bring a sea change. Now, we know we've still got the glooming kind of shadow of the Glazers hanging over Manchester United, which we obviously have to deal with. But I'm hoping we can see some, like, just seeing Jim Ratcliffe and all them like rock up to, and it's the bare basics that any owner should do. But seeing him go to Carrington and go to Old Trafford and meet all the staff and meet Caffey, meet the manager, like, have the meeting with them, tell them that, you know, trophies and having direction and leadership and, you know, a vision from the top, that should spread down. And you hope with that, and if the players start to see that we've got ownership that actually care and will focus on football, and they're not going to be rewarded with contracts for just doing anything, and, you know, some of them are likely to get sold if they don't perform. Just knowing all those things can make the club perform better. I just hope Erik ten Hag can work with the new structure that's in place, because for me, he is still one of the best coaches in Europe. He's had a bad time, yes, but hopefully he can get through it. And, you know, he did do what he did last season. That wasn't, you know, that did happen. I know this season is happening and did happen, but, you know, maybe you've got a little bit of credit in the bank. Hopefully he can convert that into results and a longer stay at Manchester United. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're keeping it locked to Stretford Paddock. I am going to get out of here now, but thank you very much for tuning in. See you soon.